So the stitches that you will need to know is a magic circle or to do a chain ring. I do a magic circle just because it creates a tighter circle. However, because we're putting the pom-pom in the center, if you do have a gap, it will not matter because it won't show. So you can do either one. You also need to know how to do a slip stitch, a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and a triple or treble. So I'm going to go ahead and make a magic ring. And for our first round, we are going to do 6 single crochet into the magic ring. So there are 6. I'm just going to take the tail and pull to close up that circle. Now these rounds are worked in continuous, so you do not need to slip stitch to the first stitch to close the round. We're just going to go ahead and work our next round into our first stitch there. So our next stitch will be an increase, and we're going to increase all the way around. So we have 6 stitches here. We should end up with 12. So now that we have 12, we are going to start our round 3. So for round 3, we're going to single crochet into the first stitch and then increase in the next, which will create us a total of 18 stitches all around. So there's 3, 4, 5 and 6. We're done with round 3. Okay, so for round 4, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second, and then do our increase. And we're going to repeat that all the way around to have a total of stitches of 24. Okay, so for round 5, we're going to increase the amount of stitches we have in the round to 30. So we are going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then increase 4 and 5. And we're going to repeat that all the way around till we reach 30 stitches. Going to do our final round 6, and we are going to start by doing 2 single crochet, and then an increase, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So single crochet, and increase, and one more time, single crochet, and increase. Okay, in this next stitch, we're going to be working 4 stitches into it. So we're going to start with a half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. There's our half. We're going to yarn over, insert into the same stitch, and complete a double crochet. Then we're going to do a triple or treble, however you want to say it. there's our first one, and here's our second. Now in this next stitch here, we're gonna also work 4 stitches, and we're gonna basically do the opposite of what we did here. So we're gonna start with a triple, and another triple, now we're going to do a double, and then our half double. And then just like how we started this, we're going to do an single crochet increase in the next stitch. So here's 1 and 2. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 2 single crochet stitches from the previous round. And we're going to do 1 increase. And then we're going to go ahead and make our stitches for the other foot. So we're going to do a half double crochet into this next stitch. We're going to do a double as well. And then 2 triple. Okay, and then in the next stitch we're going to work 2 triple, a double, and a half double. There's 1, 2. Now we're going to work our double crochet and our half double. Then we're going to go ahead and increase in the next stitch by creating 2 single crochet. We're going to single crochet 2 times in the next 2 stitches, and then increase, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches, increase 1 more time, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Now you should have 3 stitches from the previous round that are left unworked, and that's just where you would attach it to a garland if you are making a garland. So let me go ahead and cut off a piece here, and I'm going to fasten off. All right, I'm going to weave in these ends real quick. Okay, so here I've grabbed my puff paint. It is called 3D fabric paint, and the one that I got from Dollar Tree. So the other tip with working with this is to have a paper towel or some kind of napkin to the side to wipe the tip off to create complete circles, because the paint will sometimes stick around the lip and you won't get a perfect circle if that's what you're going for, which on the pads of the toes I do want perfect circles. So I just start by doing a little dab. Before I put any paint, I try to press down the stitches to be flat, so that way the puff paint will dry in the places I want it to, instead of it being shifted with the fibers moving. So I always try to do just a little bit to really see where I want it, and then I'll go back and add more as needed. Okay, so I'm happy with those 2. Let me come back to the first one and add a little bit more here. Now for the base of the paw, You can do a circle, you can do an oval. I did circles on my previous one, but I kind of wanted to see what an oval would look like, so I'm going to do that now. Now, depending on how thick you put your paint is how long it will take to dry. If you do just a thin layer, it takes about an hour to 2. If you do leave it kind of thick, it will take longer. So, I always leave mine to dry overnight. But if you are doing something the day of that you need it to be displayed, then just prepare for that time frame. Okay, so as I set that aside to dry, I'm going to show us how to make a pom-pom with the Clover maker. So I've grabbed some scrap yarn here that I have in white, and all I do is I just take kind of a lengthy tail just so I can have a good grip, and I start to wrap over, and I just continue from the side, working my way to the center, and then to the other side. And then I'll work my way backwards, going towards where I started, and then repeat until I feel like I have enough wraps. Typically, I do maybe 50 to 60 wraps per side, which sounds like a lot, but it goes fairly quickly. And so to me, that seems like a pretty decent thickness for this side. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So this is how it will look closed. These do rise up a little bit, so just make sure to keep it pinched close to the center. So that way as you're cutting, these threads don't fall out and then you'd have to start all the way over. Okay, so I've completed the other side as well. And now I'm going to take my scissors and cut along the center here. So I've found that these type of scissors that are similar to shearers work a little bit easier than trying to get a bulky set of scissors, like a standard size. But if you have a smaller size, that might work better. But I just prefer that these scissors, they seem to work pretty decent. So you'll just go along and cut through the center. Depending on how many wraps you've done, it'll be require just a little bit of effort to get through all those fibers. So I've cut all of this side. Now I'm just going to take and flip this to the other and repeat the process. Okay. Now I've cut a length of string here, maybe 7 or 8 inches, I don't know, just a decent amount that you can work with to tie several knots. So you can always cut it down once it's attached to your project, so just give yourself enough room. So what you'll do is you're going to push this yarn from the bottom in the center here and pull it up around to the top. Now once you've gotten there, you want to go ahead and tie a knot, and I like to repeat this process a couple times just to ensure that my pom-pom is not going to fall apart. So now that I've got my knots tied from the top, I'm going to take both sides and push to the bottom and flip to repeat that same process. So I'm going to tie 2 knots again. I've never had a pom-pom fall apart after tying a total of 4 knots, 2 on each side, so hopefully that remains to be the same. So now that I have it tied, I can hold those strings to help support and pull away these tabs from the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and do from the bottom. And then I'm just going to pull out the center. So when you first pull it out, it looks a little oblong. It looks hairy. You can see the thread where you tied it, and you just have to fluff it and trim to your desired shape and size. So I just start snipping away. So I've finished shaping mine off camera, and as you can see, I've left quite a bit of fuzz here, so you can see what I was talking about earlier. Now, our applique is still drying from this video, so I'm just going to set that to the side, let it continue to dry, but I'm going to show you how to attach this using this applique that I made earlier. And so all I'm going to do is take one side of the tail from the pom-pom, and I'm going to insert it around the first round. So this is where I was talking about, as if you do a chain ring instead of a magic circle, you wouldn't mind having that gap in the very center, because this would be covering it. So I just go in from one side and pull through and pull it out from the needle, and then I thread the other side in through the needle and go on the other side of the first round. Pull off some of those fuzzies from there. Looks like I didn't get all of my yarn threaded through, so I'm just gonna try to re-thread it through the needle. There we go. And pull it through. Now if you pull it through, you can see that I've got one side on the left, one side on the right, pulled through the very first round. Now if you flip this over, I of course haven't weaved in the ends from crocheting, so those will need to be weaved in. But all I'm going to do is just tie a knot. And I'm probably going to tie it 2 or 3 times, just to make sure that that is secure. Okay, and then I'm going to just snip off the ends. I don't bother to weave in the white, just because you would see it even woven in, and most of these would be you wouldn't see it with it hanging against a wall or a fireplace, or if you're going to use it on a card or on a basket, you would not see the back side. So at this point, if you wanted to make sure this wouldn't curl for a garland, you could go ahead and block and let it dry, so that way it would lay flat and be as flat as possible for when you're hanging. And I would do that before I applied the puff paint if you are going to block. But I have found that my stitches are tight enough that it's kind of created a stiff fabric, so they don't really curl on me. But if they do have trouble curling, you could just go ahead and make a second one and then slip stitch them around each other on the back side, so it would be double thickness, and that weight would straighten out each piece for you. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much for joining me on my first pattern video. I will have another video uploaded tomorrow that will show you how to make a spring or Easter card and apply this applique to a basket or to complete a garland like I have here. So check that out.